too much about Jimmy, but the girls, Aunt Elizabeth and Aunt Ranella, they were both teachers, see, and they taught all the time, and they pushed education and also pushed getting to school and getting a good job. And Jimmy was real good in school. He was real good in school. And so they helped him a lot. And he also went on a scholarship.
He went to St. Louis,
Yeah.
but he never finished. He never finished college, but he went to St. Louis. He never finished, and they got a job.
I guess that's right, because he got into the elevator line.
Right, got in the elevator
and
business.
And he got in that stuff, and
Right.
he stayed in that.
All right, so that runs down the Kinney clan. Take me back to your mom and your dad, and what do you know about them, and what do you know about their parents? When did they come to this country? Do you know anything about that history at all?
Well, Bernie was just telling me the other day.
And you believe what Bernie says? Do you believe what Bernie says? He's your grandson.
I'm telling you, it sounded good.
So it must be true.
He said, on the there's a thing uptown. There's a museum uptown where you go and they've got stuff like this. They said her father built the first house in Morrisonville proper. I mean, within
Whose father?
Mother's father.
So your okay.
Grandfather.
My
Okay, your grandfather.
Yes.
Okay.
And he also, he had a little ground, but I don't think he ever farmed much. But he, at one time, and I don't know this, I mean, I can't give you anything to substantiate what I know about this, but he had a racetrack.
Yes, he did.
And
Kinney's Corners.
Yes. And they had that. That was quite a
That was
goal.
John. Was that named John Edward, or was that his name?
I guess, yeah. And then he also had the tavern that still runs today. And
Where's that tavern? In Morrisonville or where?
in Morrisonville, yes,
Really?
right along the hard road.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The Barn Tavern, didn't you ever?
I'm sure I've been there. If it's a tavern in Morrisonville, I'm sure
Right
we've
on
been
Morrisonville.
there.
It was right on the hard road, right on the main
Okay. All right.
street, and he had that.
Okay.
And he made a good. There were taverns all along in those days.
And how did your dad die? How did Grandpa die?
Well, my father died because he drank too much.
Yeah.
And he got pneumonia, and that was it.
Okay. And your mother? What do you know about your mother and where she came from? She was a McLean, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she was born there. She was the last one of the family, and there were 7 or 8 of them. But she was the youngest. No, she had a brother younger, Bernard, and he died when he was like 28 or 29. He got something. I don't know. He was married, and he got something. He died. But my mother. And that was when I was so little. I just kind of remember them talking about it. I didn't really know about that. But anyhow, but my dad had. Well, we didn't have any money. We
Right.
absolutely had no money, and boy, everything we went for booze, and that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So anyhow.
All right. So you spent most of your time. How many years were you postmaster? Were you postmaster?
Yeah, I was postmaster about 20 years from the time I started, and then of course I was off a while, and then from the time I finished, about 20 years altogether.
And then did you ever live? You were living on the farm for a little bit, and you had to walk 2.5 miles to school, right?
Oh, sure, we lived on. That's when we always lived on.
They rode a horse.
They rode a horse occasionly, only on
Maybe
Wednesdays.
Not all the time.
Oh, okay.
Once in a while we'd ride a horse, but
She was scared of horses. Did you know that?
No.
well,
Didn't
well,
Uncle Jimmy or somebody, or Uncle Louis or somebody boost Mom up and she fell over the horse and hit her eye on the plow or something?
Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
All right. So growing up the way you did, what's your favorite memory of as being as a little girl? You have good memories, or was it just all hard work and
Well,
no money?
It was hard work, let me tell you. And I'm telling you, you fixed your clothes, did them up any way you could, because I mean there was no money to buy things. And somebody, my aunt Babe and Uncle Ted, they had just they didn't have any girls. They had 4 boys. They had 4 boys, and they and she gave us a lot of things. I mean, and he ran the dry goods store uptown, and so they gave us a lot of things.
You had a boarder for a long time at your house. I remember. I thought he was. Didn't you have a long time boarder that was at your house for a long time when you lived with Grandma in the White House?
Mr. Drake.
Mr. Drake. That's it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
He was from Chicago.
Okay. What did he do?
Well, I don't know what he was when he came there.
He paid you money to live at your house.
He retired because he'd worked for years and years and years in Chicago.
Okay.
And his daughter lived in Morrisonville. And so
okay.
when he got old, you know, she wanted to bring him someplace. And when I was going to move down there, why? Well, but first I know I had him uptown first.
Okay.
And then they could go uptown and get their food. We didn't have to cook for them because they could go up to the little restaurant. Well, then when I got down there, I think the restaurant closed by that time. The rest of them were all gone or dead. Well, one of them died at my house, so, and the other one went to the nursing home. So
I
anyhow,
can remember that. Yeah.
that was the end of my, but anyhow, and then finally Mr. Drake had to go. He was there even when Mother was there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that.
That's what happened. He fell and got down the bathroom one time. He couldn't get up. So, but she called his folks and they came and got him. So they said, well, you've got to go to the nursing home. So he went to the nursing home. So as far as I was concerned, that was on him.
So how many grandchildren and great-grandchildren do you have? How many are you responsible for? Do you know?
Well, I have, oh my gosh, yes, but I can't, let's see. I've got, Jack's got Bernie, Randy,
And Amy.
and Amy.
That's 3.
And Terry's got 3 girls.
That's 6.
And Barb and Harley have got
3 boys.
3 boys.
9.
That's the extent of my grandchildren.
Right, and then you got great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
Do you have any great-great-grandchildren yet?
No.
All right, well, hold on for a little bit. You never know.
Yeah.
Might happen
Yeah,
soon.
hopefully. Yeah. So anyhow,
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing some thoughts with us. I appreciate it.
that's as. When you let's get home and listen to that, you know, well, I don't want any of that.
Oh,
stuff.
of course we do. Everybody, that's good stuff. Tell me about Aunt Elizabeth and Aunt Ranella. Now they were your mom's sisters, correct?
No, they were my
No, your
father's.
dad's. They were dad. They were Elizabeth Kinney. Yeah, that's who Sarah's named after.
My
Sarah Elizabeth.
father had a brother, 2 brothers. One brother was born with, he was feeble, well, not bad. Well, in those days, and they sent him.
They put him in a home. Yeah.
And they sent him to Dixon. That was way up by Chicago.
Mm-hmm. They institutionalized him. Yeah.
And you never see it.
Never saw him again. Yeah.
They would never see him very. I don't know. Maybe they once in a while went up there, but not very often. But they brought him back and buried him. But other than that, you know.
But Elizabeth and Ranella, neither one of them ever married, correct? They never married,
No,
and
no.
they were teachers their
And
entire life.
Eva was engaged.
Eva, that's the other one. Yeah.
And Eva was engaged to be married, and the guy died. Aunt Ranella.
She didn't cook for him or anything, did she? Is that what caught?
No, but anyhow, Aunt Ranella was. She never looked at men twice. She was great in the church, and that's all she thought about. She was always going out to different houses and saying, "Go to church and do this," and all kinds of work like that. And she was a school teacher besides. And she taught at Hillsborough for years and years, but not in Catholic school.
And then they lived in. I thought they lived in Decatur, didn't they? Didn't Elizabeth and
And
Ranella live in Decatur?
And then,
Aunt Ranella-
and then Decatur.
let's see, I believe Aunt Ranella died first.
That's correct.
Okay, and then Aunt Eva died, and then Aunt Elizabeth lived, and she lived up on the 3rd floor. You walked up 3 flights
I
and
remember
down
that.
3 flights every time you went.
But right across the street from the church.
Huh?
It was right across the street from the church, right?
Yes, part of it.
That's when she was in trouble. She couldn't go to church. Right?
Yeah, and but Aunt Elizabeth went every day to church, and I know one time we were talking to the priest or something. And he said, "I knew it was bad when I looked out and Elizabeth's car wasn't there. It was too bad for her to come to church. I knew that was terrible." So that.
All right. Any words of wisdom you want to leave? Parting shots? Anything you want to say, or you talked out for now?
The only thing I tell you, it's not hard for me to get along on not much money, because when I was growing up, I mean, all these ads about, just call us and you have $5,000 tomorrow. We don't ask any questions. It's all yours. Just come and pick it up. I thought that's a lot of hooey. And I mean, we didn't
That's-
have the money. We didn't buy
It's a
it.
lot of reason we're in the trouble we are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People want what they can't have, and they can't afford it. So, all right. Thank you, dear. I'm gonna turn this off now.